Tonight is the night that could change everything for you. Right now, in this very moment, you stand at the edge of your old self and a new future. One night, that's all it takes to shift your entire life in a completely new direction. You don't need months or years. Just one powerful night of clear decision, focused intention, and committed action. That's it. I've seen it happen countless times. Ordinary people just like you who made one decision on one specific night. A decision so powerful, so resolute, that it altered the course of their entire lives. They weren't special. They didn't possess unique abilities or extraordinary circumstances. What they had was the courage to say, "Tonight is the night." And they meant it. What would happen if tonight you decided that enough was enough? What if tonight you drew a line in the sand and declared, "This is where the old me ends and the new me begins"? Because that's exactly what transformation looks like. It doesn't happen gradually. It happens in an instant, that moment of decision when you finally choose differently. Most people wait for something outside of them to change their lives. They wait for the perfect opportunity, the right person, more money, or better circumstances. But here's the truth: transformation doesn't come from the outside. It begins inside, with a decision. And that decision can happen in a single night. Let me tell you something about real change. When you make a true decision, a real decision, something shifts inside you. A true decision means cutting off all other possibilities. It means burning the ships behind you so there's no turning back. It means saying, "This is it. I'm committed. I'm moving forward, no matter what." So tonight, I'm asking you, are you ready to make that decision? Are you ready to say, "Tonight is the night"? Because if you are, then tonight could be the night you look back on years from now and say, "That was the night everything changed." Let me ask you a question. What if everything you've ever wanted, everything you've ever dreamed of, could be achieved with just one decision? One decision. Now, I know that might sound unbelievable. You're probably thinking, one decision. Is it really that simple? But I'm telling you it is. Because the truth is, the life you've been waiting for, the life you've been dreaming about, could start tonight. Right now. In this very moment. Success is not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's not about waiting for everything to fall into place. It's not about waiting for someone else to come along and change your life. No. Success is about recognizing the power of the moment you're in right now. This moment. Most people wait for the right opportunity, the perfect timing, or the right circumstances to start taking action. But let me tell you something. Waiting is the enemy of progress. Waiting for everything to align perfectly is nothing but procrastination in disguise. What makes success predictable isn't the luck of the draw. It's the decisions you make. The ones that are born in moments just like this one. It's about recognizing that your life, as it stands right now, could change forever with just one bold decision. A decision to stop waiting. A decision to take action. A decision to finally break free from the chains of uncertainty and self-doubt. Now, here's what I've learned. Most people don't make decisions. They make choices. But what's the difference, you might ask? A choice is casual. It's something you consider, something you weigh the options on. But a decision is different. A decision is decisive, it's final, it's non-negotiable. A decision is when you draw a line in the sand and say, "I'm done. I'm done living this way. I'm done waiting for things to change on their own. I will change." That's the power of a single decision. It's the moment when you say, "Enough is enough. I will no longer let life happen to me. I will make it happen for me." And let me tell you this doesn't take years. It doesn't take months. It doesn't take weeks. It takes one single powerful decision. That's it. When you make a true decision, something shifts inside you. You stop hesitating. You stop waiting for permission. You stop doubting, and you start moving forward. Because see, when you commit, you set the stage for everything else to fall into place. Let me give you an example. Every great achievement, every breakthrough, every success story you've ever heard, it all started with one moment of clarity, one decision, one person saying, "This is it. I will no longer be the person I've been. I will change, and I will make it happen." It's not about waiting for the perfect time to act. It's about deciding that now is the perfect time. It's about choosing, right now, to take responsibility for your own life and your own future. Because the future doesn't just happen to you. You create it. And it starts with making that one decision. One decision to step up. One decision to rise above the excuses. One decision to stop playing small. One decision to commit to the future you've always dreamed of, even if it feels scary, even if it feels uncertain. I've seen it happen. I've seen ordinary people just like you make that one decision. They weren't born with special talents. They weren't gifted with extraordinary abilities. What they had was the willingness to make that one decision that set them on a completely new path. They chose, tonight is the night. I'm not waiting anymore. I'm doing it. So, what's the lesson here? The power of a single decision is this: when you decide, you unlock something inside yourself. Something that's always been there, but you never noticed until now. A new sense of purpose, a new level of determination, a new focus. You stop asking, "What if?" and you start asking, "What's next?" So, I want to ask you one more time. What if everything you've ever dreamed of could begin with just one decision? What would happen if tonight you made that decision? What if tonight you chose to take control of your life? What if tonight you decided that this moment, this very night, would be the turning point in your life? I can promise you, once you make that decision, your life will never be the same. You'll look back and realize that this was the night you changed everything. You'll look back and see that all it took was one decision to begin a journey that would lead you to greatness. That's the power of a single decision. It's all it takes to change your life. And it can start tonight. In every journey towards success, there is one powerful obstacle that stands in the way of progress, and that is fear. Fear of the unknown. Fear of making the wrong choice. Fear of failure. And do you know what the worst part is? Most people allow fear to control their lives. They hesitate. They second-guess themselves. They wait. And in doing so, they miss out on the greatest opportunities of their lives. What they don't realize is that the true cost of indecision is far greater than the cost of failure. The truth is, indecision is far more destructive than failure. When you don't decide, you're not just standing still. You're moving backward. You're letting life pass you by. You're losing precious time. And you're building a life full of regrets. Every moment you wait, every moment you hesitate, is a moment that could have been spent moving forward. Think about this. How many opportunities have you missed simply because you were too afraid to make a decision? How many times have you looked back and wished you had taken that leap, made that choice, committed to that vision? I've seen it time and time again. People hold themselves back because of fear. Fear of making the wrong choice. Fear of failure. Fear of what others might think. But what they don't realize is that inaction is its own form of failure. Staying in the same place, paralyzed by fear, is the most dangerous choice you can make. Let me tell you something important. Success requires courage. It requires the courage to make decisions, even when you don't have all the answers. It requires the courage to step into the unknown, to trust in your abilities, and to move forward despite the uncertainty that may lie ahead. I want to share a story with you. There was once a man, just an ordinary man, who lived a quiet life. He had dreams, big dreams, but he never acted on them. He kept waiting for the right time, the right opportunity, the right circumstances. And yet, every day that passed, his dreams slipped further away. He became comfortable in his routine and his safety zone, even though deep down, he knew he was meant for something greater. Then one night, everything changed. He made a decision. A powerful, unwavering decision that he would no longer allow fear to control his life. He chose to step outside of his comfort zone. He chose to take a risk. He took action. That night, he took the first step towards a new life. A life filled with opportunities, challenges, and growth. It wasn't easy, and it wasn't perfect. But the courage to decide, the courage to move forward in the face of fear, changed everything for him. This man's story is not unique. I've seen countless others make that same courageous decision. I've seen individuals, just like you, who were tired of waiting for the perfect moment. They were tired of being stuck in the same place, overwhelmed by fear and hesitation. They decided that enough was enough. And that decision changed the entire course of their lives. Now, I know it's not easy to overcome fear. But here's the thing, fear is natural. It's a part of being human. But what separates those who succeed from those who don't is not the absence of fear. It's the willingness to act in spite of it. It's the courage to make a decision, even when you don't have all the answers, even when you don't feel completely ready. Let me ask you this. What would your life look like if you made decisions based on courage instead of fear? What if tonight you decided to stop waiting for the perfect moment and just went for it? What if you decided to overcome the fear of failure, the fear of making the wrong choice, and instead trusted yourself enough to take the leap? You see, it's not about being fearless. It's about feeling the fear and doing it anyway. It's about recognizing that the fear you feel is a sign that you're on the edge of something new, something powerful. And that's where growth happens. That's where transformation begins. The cost of indecision is a life of stagnation. It's a life of what-ifs and regrets. But the reward for making a courageous decision is a life filled with progress, success, and fulfillment. It's time to stop letting fear hold you back. It's time to step up and make the decision that will change your life. Tonight could be the night when everything shifts for you. The night when you decide that fear will no longer control you. The night when you finally say, I'm ready. I'm taking action. I'm making the decision to move forward. And once you make that decision, there's no turning back. You'll look at life differently. You'll look at challenges differently. And you'll look at yourself differently. Because the person who decided to take that step will be a new person. A person who has the courage to create the life they deserve. So, I challenge you. What's holding you back? What's that one decision you need to make? Tonight, don't let fear stop you. Let courage lead the way. There is a point in every journey, a decisive, irrevocable moment, when you make the choice to burn the ships. What does that mean? It means committing fully, without reservation, without looking back. It means removing any possibility of retreat, any chance of returning to the old way of life. You've probably heard the story before. In ancient history, when explorers landed on foreign shores, they often burned their ships. Why? Because once those ships were gone, there was no going back. They couldn't escape. They couldn't turn around. The only option was to move forward, to succeed, to conquer, to adapt. The same principle applies to your life. If you want to experience real transformation, there must come a moment when you leave behind all options for retreat. There must come a point when you burn the ships and decide that failure is no longer an option. That moment is what I call the moment of no return. It's the moment when you draw the line and say, there is no turning back. This is it. I'm all in. But here's the truth. Most people never reach that point. They keep their ships intact, holding on to the idea that they can always go back to their old life if things don't work out. They keep one foot in the old world, one foot in the new. And because of that, they never fully commit. They're afraid of fully embracing the new version of themselves because they haven't let go of the old version. They haven't truly burned their ships. But true change, real transformation, happens when you commit with no escape plan. It happens when you say, I'm going all in. No backup, no fallback, no exit strategy. This is my life now, and I will do whatever it takes to make it work. That's when the magic happens. That's when you unlock your true potential. Because once you've committed, The universe conspires to help you succeed. So why is it necessary to leave no room for retreat? Because the human mind thrives on commitment. When you commit fully, you activate something inside yourself, a drive, a determination, a fire that will push you forward even when obstacles arise. Without commitment, without a point of no return, you are constantly in a state of indecision. You're half-hearted. You're unsure. And that uncertainty holds you back. When you burn the ships, you tell yourself that failure is not an option. And when you remove the possibility of going back to the old way, you force yourself to adapt, to evolve, and to find solutions. You become resourceful. You become resilient. You become relentless in your pursuit of success. But the truth is, that moment of commitment is often terrifying. It's scary to fully commit. It's scary to make a decision and know that there's no turning back. But let me tell you this, you will never achieve greatness in your life until you are willing to fully commit. The psychology behind leaving behind the old self and embracing the new is profound. It's not just a mental shift. It's an emotional one. It's a shift in identity. When you burn the ships, you don't just change your circumstances. You change who you are. You decide that the old you, the one who hesitated, who doubted, who played small, no longer exists. That person is gone. And in their place stands a new, empowered version of yourself. A version of you who is willing to go after their dreams, no matter what. Now, how do you create a point of no return in your own life? Let me give you some practical strategies to help you make that commitment one. Make a public commitment. Tell someone, a friend, a mentor, a family member, that you are committing to change. When you make it public, you hold yourself accountable to someone other than yourself. You put your reputation on the line. This will push you to take action and ensure that you don't back out too. Set a deadline. One of the biggest reasons people hesitate is because they don't set a clear deadline. They think they have all the time in the world. But when you set a deadline, a firm date when you will make the change, it forces you to act. A deadline creates urgency and removes the comfort of procrastination. 3. Remove options for retreat. Create a situation where going back is not an option. Cancel that safety net. For example, if you're thinking about starting a business, quit your job. If you're thinking about getting fit, sign up for that marathon. By taking away your fallback options, you make your commitment more powerful. 4. Visualize the end result. Imagine yourself a year from now, 5 years from now. What will your life look like once you've fully committed and burned the ships? Visualize the success, the progress, and the growth you'll experience. This will help you stay focused when times get tough and remind you of why you're doing this in the first place. 5. Be prepared for resistance. When you make a big decision to change, the universe will test you. Resistance will show up in many forms: doubt, fear, procrastination, people telling you it's not possible. But you must stay strong. You must remind yourself that the moment of no return has arrived. You cannot go back. You must keep moving forward. Remember, this transformation happens when you burn the ship. It happens when you commit fully and without hesitation. It happens when you leave no room for retreat, when you make the decision to never look back. And when you do this, you'll find yourself on the path to greatness. There is no turning back. You've burned the ships, and now you are unstoppable. You've made the decision. You've burned the ships. There is no going back. Now, what happens next? What do you do the morning after that one powerful night of decision? That is the critical moment. Because a decision, no matter how strong or passionate, is only as powerful as the actions that follow. If you don't act immediately, the intensity of that night, the fire, the conviction, the determination, it begins to fade. Doubt creeps back in. Comfort calls you to return. And before you know it, the decision that felt like a turning point becomes just another fleeting thought. A memory of a moment when you almost changed. Momentum, the bridge from decision to transformation. Momentum is the bridge between the decision and the transformation. And momentum is built through action. Immediate, focused, deliberate action. Here's a truth that most people don't realize: the longer you wait to act on a decision, the less likely you are to act at all. The mind is a master of rationalization. It will find reasons to delay, to hesitate, to question. Maybe I need to think this through more. Maybe I should wait until the time is right. Maybe I need more preparation. But the truth is, hesitation kills dreams. Act now, not later. If you want that decision to change your life, you must act while the fire is still burning. Think back to a moment when you were inspired, truly inspired. Maybe you heard a speech, read a book, or watched a documentary. You felt like you could conquer anything. But what happened? Did you act on that inspiration immediately, or did you wait? Did you let the feeling fade, convincing yourself you'd do it someday? Someday is a thief. It steals your resolve and leaves you empty-handed. Small steps, big impact. Immediate action is not about taking massive, overwhelming steps. It's about taking any step, no matter how small. That reinforces your decision. That sends a signal to your mind that this is real, that you are committed. When you act quickly, you build trust with yourself. You prove to yourself that this time is different. This time, you're not just talking, you're doing. Some people think that change requires drastic, all-consuming action. But that's not true. It's the small, consistent steps that build momentum and create real, lasting change. Momentum is not just about action, it's about consistency. When you consistently act in alignment with your decision, you start to reshape your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries, and you start seeing yourself as someone who does. Every action, every step, every moment of effort is a vote for the person you are becoming. Consistency is the quiet power that reshapes your self-image. It's not about perfection, it's about persistence. When you stumble, and you will, the key is to get back on track quickly, to keep moving, to maintain that momentum. But here's the challenge: temptation will come. Old habits will call to you. Comfort will whisper, just take a break, just for today. And in those moments, you need strategies to protect your momentum. Create a physical reminder of your decision. Write it down. Put it somewhere you'll see it every day. On your mirror, on your desk, on your phone's lock screen. Let it remind you of the choice you made and the path you committed to. Setting micro goals. Don't just focus on the big vision. Break it down into daily, achievable actions. Small wins create confidence. Confidence builds momentum. If your decision is to write a book, write one page today. If your decision is to improve your health, prepare one healthy meal today. Focus on what you can do today, not what you hope to achieve months from now. Accountability, the power of shared commitment. Tell someone you trust about your decision. Someone who will encourage you, challenge you, and hold you accountable. When others are aware of your commitment, it adds a layer of accountability that can keep you on track. Accountability is not about pressure. It's about partnership. It's about having someone who believes in your decision as much as you do. Track your progress. Momentum grows when you see progress. Track your efforts. Journal your actions. Celebrate your small wins. When you can see the progress you've made, it reinforces your belief that change is happening. Progress is proof that you are capable of transformation. It shows that the decision you made was not just a fleeting moment, but the start of a journey. Prepare for resistance. Know that there will be days when motivation fades, when doubt reappears, when you question if it's worth it. Prepare for those moments. Have a plan in place for when you feel like giving up. A reminder of why you started. A strategy to reignite your motivation. These are not signs of weakness. They are part of the process. The power of decision in motion. Remember this: your decision was powerful, but its power lies in the momentum you create. A decision alone does not change your life. It's the actions you take day after day that transform your reality. It's the discipline to keep going when it's hard, to keep pushing when the excitement fades, to keep believing when the results are not immediate. One night, many mornings, one night can change everything. But it is the mornings that follow that solidify that change. The decision was the spark. Now it's up to you to keep that fire burning, to take the steps, however small, every day, to maintain the momentum that turns a decision into a destiny. The path forward momentum is a gift you give yourself. It's the gift of consistency, the gift of progress, the gift of believing in your ability to change. Don't let the fire of your decision die out. Keep stoking the flame. Keep building the momentum. And watch as that one night of decision becomes the foundation for a lifetime of transformation. Build the momentum. Create the change. Become unstoppable. Take a moment. Close your eyes. Think back to that night. The night that changed everything. That night when something inside you stirred. When you made the decision that there would be no more excuses, no more delays. It wasn't just another evening. It was a turning point, a moment of clarity. It might have been a quiet moment, just you and your thoughts, but the impact of that decision was powerful. The ripples of that one night, that single decision, have reached further than you might realize. Looking back to draw strength, life will always have its ups and downs. There will be days when you struggle, days when doubt creeps in, when the weight of the world feels heavy, and the path forward seems unclear. In those moments, look back to that night. Remember the certainty, the resolve, the courage it took to say, "This is it. Enough is enough." That was not a moment of weakness. It was a moment of strength. And if you could find that strength once, you can find it again. That night was a testament to your ability to choose, to change, to rise above circumstances. It was a moment when you drew a line in the sand, declaring that the old ways were no longer acceptable. When the path feels uncertain, anchor yourself to that decision. Remind yourself that it wasn't just a fleeting thought, it was a promise you made to yourself. And a promise made to oneself is the most sacred of all. The ripple effect of a single decision. It's easy to underestimate the power of a single, determined decision. You might think it was just a personal moment, a private commitment. But here's the truth. That decision has affected far more than just you. It's not just about the goals you've set or the habits you've tried to build. It's about who you have become and who you are still becoming. That night marked the beginning of a transformation. Your relationships have changed because you show up differently. Your work has changed because you bring a new level of purpose and commitment. Your health, your mindset, your self-respect, all have been shaped by that night. When you changed, the world around you began to change. The ripple effect of that decision moves outward, touching people and places you never imagined. It's like a stone dropped into a still pond. The waves travel far beyond the initial splash. The impact is real, whether or not you see it every day. There's something you might not realize. Somewhere is watching you. A friend, a family member, a colleague, someone who sees your growth, your resilience, your determination. They may never tell you, but your example is giving them hope. The way you face challenges, the way you refuse to give up, it inspires them. Your journey is not just about you. It's a testament to what is possible for others. Your courage to change becomes their courage to believe in change. Every time you push through a difficult day, every time you stand firm in your commitment, you are not just honoring yourself, you are lighting a path for others. You become a symbol of what is possible, of what happens when someone dares to choose growth over comfort. That's a responsibility, a privilege, and a purpose that goes beyond you. When you look back on that night, understand that your decision was not just for you. It was for everyone you have the power to influence. Creating a vision for the future, that night was not the end, it was the beginning. As powerful as that moment was, it's not just a memory to look back on. It's a foundation to build upon. A vision for the future starts with that moment. Imagine the person you will become if you continue on this path. Not just in a month or a year, but in a decade. What kind of life will you have built if you keep honoring that decision day after day? Will you be proud of the person you see in the mirror? Will you be someone who not only talks about change but lives it? Will you be the example that others look to when they need hope, when they need proof that change is possible? Let that vision pull you forward. Every time you are tempted to return to the old ways, remember that vision. That is what you are building, a future that reflects the power of a single, unwavering decision. Legacies are not just for the famous or the celebrated. Every one of us leaves a legacy, a mark on the people we encounter, the lives we touch. Your decision that one night has set in motion a legacy. When people think of you, they will think of someone who did not settle, someone who faced fear, embraced change, and chose growth over comfort. A legacy is not about wealth or recognition. It's about impact. It's about the influence you have on the hearts and minds of those around you. When others see your transformation, they will know that change is possible for them too. You become a living example of what is possible when someone truly decides to change. And that is a legacy worth leaving. Reflecting on that night should not just be a nostalgic exercise. It should be a daily reminder. Keep a symbol of that decision, a journal entry, a note, a quote that captures the essence of that moment. When you face challenges, revise it. Let it remind you of the resolve you had, the strength you found. It is not just a memory, it is a tool for your future. When the days are tough, let that decision be your anchor. When the path forward is unclear, let that memory light the way. You owe it to yourself to honor that moment, to respect the strength it took to change. Someday, you will tell this story to someone else, someone standing where you once stood, unsure, caught between fear and hope. And you will tell them about that night. You will tell them how a single decision can change everything, how it can create a ripple that touches every part of your life, how it can lead to a future that once seemed impossible. That story, your story, will give them the courage to make their own decision.